Hi there, and welcome to BECBC's videocast. So we went out and wanted to hear from some of our members to see how they're managing with the COVID-19 pandemic, the lockdown, and how their business is doing. And today we've invited Lucy Harrison from the Harrison Network to come in and talk to us about that. Hi Lucy, nice to see you.
Thank you.
So Lucy, before we start hearing a little bit more about your story, why don't you tell our audience what it is you do?
So I run the Harrison Network, and we help organisations change. And organisations obviously have to change all the time to fit the environment in which they operate. Sometimes that's quite slow, and sometimes, as at the moment, it's pretty fast. And organisations have got to change quickly. And we specialise particularly in the people part of that change, so helping people become more adaptable, helping people spot and go for opportunities that might arise. And helping leaders create an environment in which others can show up, others can step up, others can speak up. So that's kind of what we do, and we do it through different learning programs, and deliver kind of coaching, facilitation, training, experiential learning with people. And ultimately, it's all to deliver sustainable commercial results, and that's what we do.
Yeah, so it's been really difficult for businesses to adjust to the new reality. But Lucy, just tell us a little bit more about your own business, about your own thoughts. How has it been for you over these weeks and weeks of lockdown and just all this change?
Interesting because for two reasons. Firstly, it's quite ironic that this is what I do for organisations all the time, and then being forced into doing it for myself has been quite tough. Um, and that is down to the change in going from an incredibly full diary and being the best year ever for the Harrison Network to having a completely empty calendar across all the different programs we usually deliver. And so suddenly looking at that empty diary and going, oh, how are we going to do this? Because all of our work is usually face to face, supporting people in small groups over a long period of time. So that's been really hard. And the second part is the personal journey, going through that kind of transition, not just change, but a real transition from being the owner of a successful business to back being a mum at home and forced into kind of managing schoolwork and having to restart the business from scratch and just feeling very alone. And that was really hard at the beginning. That was really hard at the beginning. But what I've noticed is the journey for me has been, the surprising part of the journey for me has been the relationships with people around, and the relationships with the sort of traditional relationships that I'd have with clients, that kind of client supplier thing has gone, and has changed. And the traditional relationship between trainer and learner has changed. And it kind of, it happened two ways. Firstly, one of my clients rang me and said, "Are you okay?" And they rang me on a really low day, and I wasn't okay. And they just happened to call, and we happened to chat about various things. And I came off that call just feeling back on top of the world again, and back as if, yeah, do you know what? I can do this. This is okay. And nothing to do with anything particular we talked about, but just a client calling me to find out if I was okay. And that was really a changing moment for me. And then the second part was another client saying, we're obviously going to have to cancel this whole week of work. And me turning around and going, I'm sure we can do something. I'm sure we can do something for this group of people. And then going, okay, we trust you. Do something. And so we did. And so being forced, and not forced into, but being given permission to try out new things with clients, knowing that they're going to be a bit clunky, and having them trust us and us know that we can be adaptable, and know that this is an opportunity for us to do new things and to learn new things. Yes, it's been interesting. It very much been this roller coaster throughout. But after that initial low period, yeah, my client phoning, that was amazing. And then secondly was so another client who then trusted us to try something new. And since that, we've done that with most of our clients, and we've sort of revamped most of the programs. There's a lot of online learning now. So yeah, exciting, but a roller coaster.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic that your client reached out. And over time, I think we're seeing really that people are recognizing how important relationships are. We all need really good relationships in community and in business. So, that's what it's going to take for us to all move forward. So what have you seen in those around you? Businesses, people? What have you noticed in terms of reactions?
So I noticed at the beginning that a lot of people, a lot of businesses kind of panicked about work coming in for obvious reasons. I did as well. But there was a lot of people saying, I can do this and I can do this and I can sell you this and I can sell you that. But as you said there, actually the relationships that have worked and that have allowed me to keep having business coming in and actually to increase some of that business is the patience, and is the people contact, and is the relationship development. And that for me has been absolutely key. And the thing that I've really noticed is that change in relationships, and the importance of deep connections with people, and not just trying to sell to them, not just trying to get what you can from them, and it not be a transactional thing anymore. Is that those relationships have to be two-way, and they need to be deeper.
Yeah, so it's absolutely clear that relationships are vital to business, but particularly now it's going to be really important. But Lucy, what else do you see? What do you think businesses and people will be looking for going forward? What is it that's going to make a difference?
That's an interesting question. I think if I knew the answer for that, I'd be a multimillionaire by now, or in a few weeks' time. No, my best guess is it will vary depending on the business. Some businesses are purely looking for survival right now, and some people will be not much beyond how do we survive. For other organisations, it will be more about how do we have an opportunity to create a new normal. We have an opportunity to mould and shape our business as it comes back together, our organisation and the culture of it as it comes back together, to create something new and to take the best of what has happened and get rid of some of the worst of what was. And I mean, I know I'm working with a few who are already talking about this, and who are already kind of talking to me about, right, okay, how do we shape this? How do we help people do this transition in this time when we're kind of a bit malleable? So I think there's that adaptability, that ability to shape the future, that ability to connect deeply, as I've said, and that ability to allow others to show up as they are rather than as they think they ought to be. With warts and all, with kids screaming in the background. Mine are currently quiet, which is nice. But with kids screaming in the background, with aging parents, with in sickness and in health, and to be able to be authentic and to show that at work, and to show our hopes and fears, as well as be able to bring our our leadership and our delivery and our productivity skills to work. We need to show up with everything else as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think people will be looking for people to work with who they can trust, who are authentic, who aren't making things up. And going forward, I think it's going to be really important that we look for ways to collaborate and really work together. because it is about community, and we all need to move forward as a community, not just individuals. So yeah, before we sort of come to a close, Lucy, could you just tell us, tell our audience, if they wanted to find out more about the Harrison Network and yourself, where can they go and how can they find out more?
Well, we're online at theharrisonnetwork.co.uk, or you can look me up on LinkedIn, Lucy Harrison. I'm always very happy to chat and talk about some of these things. And I do regularly, we have long conversations about what might be with people, and I really enjoy those. So, feel free if somebody wants to chat about that, get in touch.
Yeah, thanks very much, Lucy, for coming on the podcast. Really appreciate it. It's been great. Thanks for being open about how you went through this and how you felt, and also how you've overcome some of the challenges. Really appreciate it.